Alright, so once again, we're getting to this a little after the fact because I was at work, but I did listen to the audio, check out a few trailers that I thought seemed interesting, and here are my thoughts. Splatoon Side Order. I don't have the third game. I was kind of waiting to see what they did with this. I'm more interested in the campaign than anything with it, just because I didn't feel like starting over in multiplayer. I don't know, like, I can kind of appreciate they're going a bit of a different direction, trying to add some replay value, but I was kind of hoping for more of just an extended campaign, like, what was it, the Octo expansion in 2 was. So I don't know if this is just going to be like a challenge tower thing, in which case I don't know if I'll be too interested in that. But if that isn't the case, I don't know, maybe if I eventually get the third game, I would check this out. Overall, though, this seems to still be a pretty popular game. I feel like people falling off like I did with it is more of the exception as opposed to the norm. Mario vs. Donkey Kong Remake. So I did see the Puyo, or however you pronounce that. I saw those leaks or whatever, so it's not that I didn't see this one coming, but in the way that it was kind of surprising. Like, I thought it would be like a completely new game, or even if they were doing a remake, it would be like a collection, because not to sort of shit on the series, because I played one of them. I played the DS one and it was fine. But I don't know, this never really seemed like one of the more in-depth popular series, so that they're trying to sell a remake of just one of them. I mean, it looks like a pretty good remake, like really massively upscaled in that, but I'm a little surprised they're going for that. I wonder how much it's going to wind up retailing for. And maybe I'll check it out at some point. This seems to be the best way to play this game, and like I said, I only played the second one, so maybe it's worth a shot. But not particularly high on my backlog either. Another code, Recollection. I mean, I think it's cool that they did this, especially considering they translated, or I don't know if the translation already existed or whatever, but I think it's cool to see them revisit something that is a little niche, but putting your hand out there, seeing if you can attract an audience, give a little hope for a future in this series, I guess. And I'm all for games stuck in a region getting a wider release available in, different markets and that. I think that's a very good thing and really good to see whenever it happens. Ironically enough, the highlight of the game of the direct, really the last 2 directs, I think, has been this Princess Peach game. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know, I guess seeing some more gameplay was kind of cool, but then you already sort of knew it was coming, so I don't know, I guess I'm internally debating what's more interesting, an in-depth look or an announcement in a teaser. It's kind of funny because I feel like normally this would be a kind of mid-game for me, but since there's not much else going on with Nintendo, it stands out a lot more. I'm honestly more excited for this one than for Wonder. I wouldn't even be surprised. I intend to sort of wait for both of them until they go down in price. I wouldn't be surprised if I wound up picking up this one and playing it first, though. This one was kind of surprising, but kind of not, when you sort of think about how many platforms, particularly the original Tomb Raider, I don't know about the second two, are on already. But I think it's cool. Like, from what I've seen, like, I don't know how it'll actually perform in that, but being able to go back and forth between the different styles and having all 3 in one package, I think it seems kind of cool. A new Contra game. I was originally kind of pessimistic about it, I think is the right word, just because I remember the last one did not go over well at all. But then I sort of missed that it was a remake. But then when I figured that out, and when I saw Way Forward was behind it, I'm not too familiar with Way Forward, but I know they make the Shantae games, which seem pretty good, and I know they also did the Advance Wars remake too, and I think that went over decently as well, besides the handling of the delay, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, I think this is hopefully something good for Contra fans. And then this game, something Unicorn, I don't remember the exact name of it. Unicorn Overlord. I don't have a particular interest, but I saw a lot of people talking about this one in particular. I guess people like, I don't know, either the studio or the director behind it, and people seem excited about it, so good for those people. Nintendo Museum, kind of a weird announcement at first, but then I don't know, when you consider they were doing stuff for the Mario movie and directs, this isn't as surprising when you think about it, and I think it seems like a cool idea. If it was closer, I'd probably check it out. I think it would be really cool if they had some like prototypes of games and hardware there in particular, and maybe some just rare, hard to come by products. This one is very painful. In general, I think there is some potential with the idea they had here, but I don't think the execution's going to be there, and then the risk that this is going to be the game that Nintendo gauges future interest in the series on, especially being a free NSO title. I mean, I know they sort of pay attention to, how many people are playing the game in that, but if a lot of people buy a game, I feel that's worth something, and you don't even really have that here to help the franchise out. Like, I already have F-Zero GX, and like normally I wouldn't buy like a remake of it, but just because I want to support the franchise, I definitely would, like at release, buy it. I'm not super into online, but updated visuals would be nice, but I'm still pretty satisfied with regular GX as is. But yikes, why the SNES one? Like, I'm not really big on the whole, what was it, Mode 7, I think, thing, especially with racing games. Like, I kind of get that you probably couldn't get 99 people going on a F-Zero X or GX track, but I don't know. I don't think the Mario one, that was only 35, I think, wasn't it? Like, they have just done, online death race mode from X. I forget if GX had it too, but from one of those games. Because I feel like that's what people mostly care about and want. They want that style of F-Zero game, not really this style. If it, of course, it had to be a Battle Royale online live service game. Even if they were going to go with this style, I feel like one of the GBA games would have been better, just because, particularly thinking about GP Legend, you at least have more cars and more varied environments and stuff. Like, I feel like that would even be a step up from this and still pretty feasible. I guess you could argue that they could make this into a live service, but I don't know if they're monetizing it at all. I think they would, but it might be just a cosmetics thing. But I don't know if they make enough money with that. Maybe add some tracks and some cars and that from that game and using this as a base. But I really don't see them making that effort with this, even though that would probably be the only way this would be remotely interesting, I think, in my opinion. And then even just the fact that the first game in almost 20 years, I don't know if it's been 20 yet, but it's close. And you may not even be able to play it in like a couple months or a year, depending on how this works. I think I still have NSO right now. I plan to let it lapse. I let it lapse last year, but then I was sort of talked in from a family member who recently got a Switch into getting it again, but I'm going to let it lapse when it's over this time, but I don't know exactly when that is, so I guess I will check it out for the hell of it. It's free, so why not do a couple rounds and see where I end up, but I'm not excited about this whatsoever. Like, this whole thing just sort of baffles my mind as to how this was the best way to bring the franchise back. Or maybe not that, but I don't know the best way to put it. Because I think this game already has online with NSO, right? So, even if they, like, I don't know how hard it is. Like, obviously, I know nothing about game development. Like, damn, how hard is it? Even if it didn't have enhanced graphics, just a port of Zero GX at this point. I don't know. I don't have much to say on this one. I have the first Wargroove. I thought it looked pretty good. I think it's cool it's getting a second one. I didn't realize... I think I saw that this wasn't even announced before. I thought maybe it was. But yeah, I haven't... Like, it's sort of... I want to get caught up on Fire Emblem. Then I want to get caught up on Advance Wars. And then after that, my plan is Wargroove, so... Eventually this might be on my backlog. I guess we'll see. Final Booster Pass trailer here. I wish I posted it somewhere. I think I said it in private. But I saw so many people sticking to, oh, there's only going to be 2 new characters because that's how many spots are on the character select screen. And I just think, I've been here before, that like almost never matters. If they want to add 3 or 4 characters, they're going to add them, readjust the screen. I don't really put any stock into that, and that's what turned out here. I am surprised about getting 4. I thought maybe it would be similar to what we got before. Maybe it would be 3 like last time, or maybe it would be 1 or 2, but maybe with extra costumes like we got with Birdo. But yeah, I see people even going as far as saying, oh, the character select isn't squared again, so obviously they're going to announce another set of characters before this releases, right? And round up all the people from Tor. I doubt it. And then we ended with one of the few new, or quote-unquote new, Nintendo game announcements here, being a remake of another Mario RPG, which, good for people into Mario RPGs and Mario in general and remakes, but man, this is a letdown for me personally. I mean, yes, it makes sense. It's the end of the Switch's life cycle, but I don't know. There's already so much Mario games, and one of them's even an RPG. It's not even like you're packaging them together or whatnot. And once again, congratulations to the people who are into the games. It's just not my thing, and I just wish there was, even if there was another remake, if it was something like F-Zero GX or something from a bit different of a series or genre, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, overall, not too good of a direct. Probably the weakest one I've reacted to on this channel. But like I said, your highlight was a game we already sort of knew about. And then your only new games were remakes, other than third-party stuff, which even most of that was remakes. At least the stuff I gave a shit about. So, yikes. Like I said, I'm not mad. I don't go in with super high expectations or anything. And like I said, given the state of the Switch and a sequel likely coming out next year, it's not terribly shocking, but it still sucks to see. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything else, but I at least skipped some stuff we already knew in that, so I guess that covers about everything.